You are looking down at your wrist right now and seeing absolutely nothing. It is just a cold, dark, expensive circle or rectangle of glass. I know that feeling. It is that instant spike of adrenaline and frustration because these watches are not cheap, and we rely on them from our heart rate to our text messages. But before you start looking up the trade-in value for a broken device or heading to the mall for a replacement, stop. Take a deep breath. Your Android watch is likely not dead. It is probably just stuck in a deep electronic sleep, and we are going to wake it up right now. The first thing we have to talk about is the most common culprit, and it is honestly the one people overlook because it seems too simple. It is the charging state. I want you to grab your charging puck or stand right now. Inspect those little gold pins on the charger and the contacts on the back of the watch. If there is even a tiny bit of skin oil, dried sweat, or dust on those pins, the watch might think it is charging when it actually isn't. Take a soft cloth or a Q-tip with a tiny drop of rubbing alcohol and clean those contacts. Now plug it in. Do not just wait 5 seconds. Give it 30 minutes. Sometimes, if a battery drops to 0%, it enters a pre-charge state where it doesn't even have enough power to show the charging icon. Let it sit there and get some juice. If you have done that and still nothing, we are moving into the forced restart phase. This is the universal wake-up call for electronics. On most Android or Wear OS watches, like the Pixel Watch or the Galaxy Watch series, you are going to hold down the home button and the back button simultaneously. Do not just tap them. You need to hold them for at least 15 to 30 seconds. You are waiting for the manufacturer's logo to pop up. If you are using a Fossil or a Michael Kors watch, try holding the middle crown button for a full 20 seconds. What we are doing here is cutting the power internally and forcing the processor to reboot. It is like a splash of cold water to the face of the watch. Now, let's say you held those buttons and you felt a vibration, but the screen stayed black. This is actually a good sign. It means the brain of the watch is alive, but the eyes, or the display, are disconnected or glitched. If you felt that buzz, try this. Put the watch on its charger and then perform that same button hold again. Sometimes the extra surge of power from the wall outlet helps the screen driver kick back into gear. If it is still black, we need to look at your phone. Open the Wear OS app or the Galaxy Wearable app on your smartphone. Does the app say the watch is connected? If the app says connected, then your watch is definitely turned on. Try changing the watch face from the app. Sometimes a third-party watch face you downloaded can crash and cause a permanent black screen. By switching to a default, stock watch face through your phone, you might trigger the display to override the glitch and turn back on. If that didn't work, we are going to try the Find My Watch feature. From your phone, trigger the ringtone or the vibration. If the watch starts making noise or vibrating on your desk, but the screen is still pitch black, we know for a fact that this is a display driver issue or a loose internal ribbon cable. But before we assume it is hardware, we have one more software trick. We are going to attempt a blind factory reset. This is the nuclear option, but it saves a lot of devices. If you have a Samsung watch, you can actually go into the Wearable app on your phone, go to Watch Settings, then General, then Reset. This will wipe the watch and force it to repair. For many users, this reset process reloads the entire operating system and clears out the bug that was keeping the screen dark. Let's talk about the recovery mode trick for the more tech-savvy users. This works best on Galaxy watches. You turn the watch off, or assume it is off, and hold the power button until you see the word rebooting at the bottom of the screen. As soon as you see that, you start tapping the power button repeatedly, like you're playing a video game. This will bring up a hidden text menu. You can use the button to scroll down to Recovery and then long press to select it. If you can get into this menu, your screen is fine, and the problem was just a software crash. From the Recovery menu, you can select Wipe Data Factory Reset. If you have tried the charging, the 30-second hold, the phone app reset, and the Recovery menu, and you still have no signs of life, we have to consider the hardware. Did you get the watch wet recently? Even if it is water-resistant, seals can fail over time. If you suspect water, do not put it in rice. That is a myth. Put it in front of a fan or a cool air vent for 24 hours. Never use a hairdryer, as the heat can melt the adhesive holding the screen on. Another possibility is that the battery has flatlined. This happens if the watch hasn't been used in months. If the voltage drops too low, the protection circuit prevents it from charging for safety. In this case, sometimes leaving it on the charger for a full 24 hours can trickle charge it back to life. If none of this has worked, I want you to check your warranty. Many people don't realize that these watches often have a 1-year manufacturer warranty, and some credit cards offer an extended year of protection on top of that. If the screen is black and there is no physical damage like a crack or a dent, the manufacturer will often replace it for free, because a black screen of death is frequently recognized as a known internal component failure. To prevent this from happening again once you get it back up and running, keep your software updated. Go into your watch settings and make sure you are on the latest version of Wear OS. Also, be careful with always-on display if you are in a very hot environment, as heat is the #1 killer of these small processors. You've got this. Try those button combos one more time. Press hard, hold long, and wait for that logo. Most of the time, that little vibration and the glow of the logo will come back just when you're about to give up. Your watch is a tiny computer, and sometimes computers just need a moment to find their way back to the light. Don't give up on it yet. Clean those pins, hold those buttons, and let's get that tech back on your wrist where it belongs.